Okay, recording has started. So guys, yeah, like I said, welcome today. We're just going to give you a brief introduction. So it's going to be approximately 30 minutes roughly for the demo, and then we'll, or maximum 30 minutes, and then we'll also handle some questions and answers. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put that in the chat in the meantime, and then at the end we'll go through the list, and then we'll see how many of the questions we can get answered. And then if you guys have any further questions after that, you're welcome to send it through to either me or Christina, and then we'll see how we can assist you. So first one, let's quickly get the screen sharing going. Okay, so you guys just let me know if you can see the screen now.
Thanks, I can see it now.
I can also see it.
Okay,
anybody that can't
Joseph
see?
And Melanie, do you guys see it as well? Okay, Melanie can see. Okay, so it's probably the spotlight that was blocking it for some of you guys.
So.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so
Now
yeah,
we
just to
know.
give you an overview quickly. So your team screen, you'll see it basically like this. So if you currently we are on the chat screen. So on the chat, you can actually see the current chats that we've got going for the meeting now. And then also any historical meetings that you've been to, you can actually go back and you can go and view either the chats that was on that. If there's any recording specifically, you might be able to view those. And then once you're done, if you don't want to see it again, you can just click on hide and it will basically just take it away from the list. And then you've got only your most recent ones again that is over or that's left over. So the main thing that most of the guys are using Team for at the moment is your meetings, like we are doing today, and then that gets compared to Zoom. But there's a whole lot of different extra things that teams can do and the teams provide, specifically with regarding to collaboration and teamwork. So just to give you a quick overview on that, if you go to your team section, you might or you might not have any teams on this side. So in this case, so each of these ones, I just close them down. You'll see, so all of this is different teams that we have set up and that we are using. So we've got different one for IT, for sales, for the management portion, for the hosting, online marketing, working websites, and so on. So again, this is what you can decide what name you want to give it and who you want to have access to that. So just if I take with combustion-based community, so in this instance, you've got also your subsections that you can split it up. And again, you can have different people that you've got that's got access to your overall community, and you can have the subsections with different access levels for each of these. These typically you can either have specific projects. So let's take the sales portion. So if you've got different big projects or quotations that you're working on, you can have a separate subsection for each of those with different members for each of those. Your whole section as well, you've got your different files and posts and general other general information. So just want to give you a quick overview on this one. So let's say Webcafe General IT. So we've got a meeting that was 4 minutes and 17 seconds, and we did it. That was around about the 1st of April that we did that. So if there was a recording, you can go back and view that. If there's any other conversations that you have had with regards to files or with anything else that is related to this specific tab, you will have your historical information over there. So anybody that joins your team later on will still have access to all the historical information as well. Where with WhatsApp, if you're adding somebody to a group, you only have access to the messages that were sent after you have joined, nothing before that. With this, with the subgroups and the groups, you can have access to all the historical data, and you can quickly catch up to see what was going on, or reply to something, or even work on a file. So what also happens is the file sometimes gets added to or you can add a file to the message itself. And you can have also emojis, attachments, GIFs. So all your fun stuff you can use in here as well. You can add an @ to mention somebody specifically if you want to specifically talk to someone specifically or get their attention, then they will get a notification in this activity tab on the top left. Just to show you guys as well. So the other thing that works well with Teams is the combination of the integration with OneDrive and SharePoint. So for each of these, what I call subsections, but it's called channels in the Teams world, is that you've got your files that's linked to this specific channel. So each of these ones will have their own list of files. And in this case, I've just created a demo document and a PowerPoint. What is awesome about Teams is you can work directly inside Teams on these documents. So you don't have to have it downloaded on a computer. You can either work from your phone or you can work directly from here. From here on, I can do basic editing. So the functionality on this is the same as your online access. In this case, yeah, you can just start typing and it will save whatever you've done. So there's no save button anyway. As you finish typing the line, it automatically saves and you've got that information. So if I close this up, now it will say it was modified a few seconds ago by myself. So you can also see when it was changed and who the last person was that changed this specific document, or if there was a new folder created when it was created. And the same with the demo PowerPoint. It is exactly the same. The thing you have to keep in mind is the bigger the file, the longer there will be a slightly bigger delay to open it or to save it. But the idea is that you can work on it and you can also work together on the files with different people. So in this case, what I just want to show you guys quickly is some on an Excel document. And so I'm going to open it up in my Teams. And then Christina's got it open on her side. And then at the moment, you can see there's a purple block that shows her name. So this is actually the place where she is currently on. So what I'm going to ask her is if somebody can just put a random number in the chat, then she can type it in and you guys can see the live. Yeah, it updates live on this one. So let's see if there's anybody. The first number that comes up, we'll use that. Okay, 76 or 276, 10, 13. Okay, so you can see she moved the cursor and she's typing 76, 10, and 13. And that's how quick it is. She's sitting in Port Elizabeth. I'm sitting in Pretoria, and we are working together on the same file. I can now go and edit that. On the top right, you can see if there's more than one person. It's also showing me she's editing F28. I can go to location. So now if I was on a different tab, I could actually go straight to this one and see what's going on, where she's working on. Other things like we can do is we can click on comments. So I can actually add a comment, please update this. Also mention the person. This will then appear in their activity feed again with a link directly to this file where they can click on it, work directly in the file and update it. So collaboration gets made really, really easy. And then the last thing I want to show you on this is the conversation tab. So the conversation tab is also linked to this file, but this is not specifically to a specific cell where this one, if you look at the top there, you'll see that one is on D5. So if I go down D5, that is the actual one that we're working on. If you were anywhere else and you want to click on that, it takes you straight to that file where the comment was made on. And you also see there's a little purple mark on the top right corner just to show you there's a comment on this cell. And then the general conversation is related to the document in general, not a specific cell or a specific row or something specific. And again, you can mention the person's name, and then whatever you're talking about in this conversation, it's added to your post session over here. So this is where that actually came from. So this conversation wasn't made directly from this tab. It was actually made inside the file and discussing the file the file itself. So I just want to show you. So if you just have a look at this, we are under Webcafe IT General, and then we were under Insurance with the Insurance Audit, and then we've also got the demo PowerPoint and the test doc. So I just want to show you guys. So you can also have this synced to your computer. So if you've got...
Rudy, there was just a question. Is it full Excel or is it a modified version of Excel that then you work on?
So it's a slightly less, I can say a powdered down version of Excel, but more than Google Docs Excel. So it's closer to the software itself, but the software has got the full functionality, where the online version is slightly less than that. But majority of the stuff you can still get done. So it all just depends on if there's any specific formulas or specialized formulas that you guys are using that might not work, we must just double check that. But the majority of the stuff, I'd say probably about 80–90% of the functionality is available on the online and the Teams version. So the file syncing, you can sync the files, and then you'll see the structure is exactly the same. We've got the IT documents, general, then we've got the 2 PowerPoint files over there, and then if we go into the insurance one, go into the insurance audit one. Let's quickly open up that one. So again, I can work on this one on my computer, not on the Teams version. And there again, I see Christina Estek is busy editing this file. So either if you're working on it on this side, or if you're working on it on Teams, or if you go online, everything that I'm showing you, you can go to portal.office.com, and from there you can access your Teams, your documents, your Excel, Word, Outlook, everything you can Excel from that side as well. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell what we can do with this. There's even more functionality in terms of permissions. So if you can do very specialized permissions where you can have a person part of the general group but don't have access to the insurer's folder, for instance. So you can actually give them very specific folder level access, but obviously the more complicated the permissions gets, the more admin there is to manage that and make sure that it works well. So okay, then calendar, just to quickly come back to this side. This works exactly the same as it would work on the Outlook. So you can either click on this meeting directly. If it's a Teams meeting that was scheduled, you can directly click on join, or you can change your attendance, either accepted, tentative, or decline directly from here. You've got your link, or you can chat to participants, and then you can have a look at that. You can move it around, so you can actually click and drag it. I'm not sure if it will move that one, but no, also not. Okay, so you can't click and drag it seems. Otherwise, you can edit it and you can move the dates around and change the information. You can click on an empty portion, fill in all the details, and then you can send that off. If there's any registration required, response options, you can allow forwarding, don't allow forwarding. So there's a whole list of things that you guys can do directly from this. Whatever you're putting in this one and you save it, it will automatically sync back to your OneDrive, into your Outlook calendar if you're using Microsoft Exchange. And then just a quick overview on this one. So any your team internally, you can actually give them a call directly from Teams. If you want to use external calling, you need to get additional licensing and things for that. So the prices that we've got from the guys is, it doesn't make sense for small business to look at this option for your PABX. So there's a lot better options available. If you're looking at your files tab, you'll see all your recent files that you're using or that you're working on. You can either click directly on this one and then work on that. And then there's other options that you can, or other plugins that you can add, different apps that you can add. So you can link it with your planners, with your things, so you can actually go through it and you can look at your tasks, or what I've done is I've used my planner tasks, and actually you can look at task, important, planned, assigned to me, or if you've got specific lists, you can go into those, and you can also link it to a specific team. So other people will have access to that same list. And then the apps portion. So here is a whole list of different apps and things that you can go through. I'm not going to go through any of these for today, but just know that it is there. So you can go through them, go read through them. There is a whole bunch of different things. So there's Microsoft specific stuff, then there's education, productivity, and it's third-party apps and Microsoft apps all throughout. So the ones that says Microsoft Corporation, those are directly from Microsoft, but anything else, Qualtrics, NewLab, Planis Technologies, all of the other ones, just go through them. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. Yeah, you'll have to go through it and see what is the options. You can go look at best-selling, new, top picks, or popular for teams. And then that is pretty much that. Yeah, if you guys probably know Asana, you can have integration with that. So there's also third-party apps that's not on this list specifically that you can actually integrate into Teams as well. So if there's another app that you guys are using, you can actually have a look and see if there's anything specifically that, that can integrate into Teams if you want to. And that is pretty much that. The ones that I'm not covered is the actual meeting. So you can actually start a meeting directly from here. So if we just quickly want to jump into a meeting that's unscheduled, we just say, okay, quickly going to do a meeting, jump on that. I'm not going to press that now. Otherwise, I'm going to get kicked off of this meeting. And then you can also schedule directly from here. And then any recurring meetings will also be shown up and then, stay in the team specifically. So you can keep all your team-specific meetings, team-specific chats, everything together in one place and work on that. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Any questions? You are muted.
Lorraine's asking that to please show the workflow option.
Which workflow option?
I don't know.
Was it on the app specifically, or was it on the?
I don't know. Lorraine, talk to me. You can unmute yourself, eh? At the bottom of the screen. I'll have to find it first.
That one on the left.
Aha.
So this one, yes. So this is a whole, so the workflows are actually a whole different thing.
On its own.
So that's actually a separate product from Microsoft that they have started to integrate into Teams, or that you can start integrating into Teams. So where that would be or come into play is you can actually set up a workflow, basically, so to look out for messages to come in, or for anything specifically that happens, then you can have something happen automatically, either being notified, or you can schedule a new meeting, or you can get a notification, or something. If you've got an Excel file, that can be updated automatically. But that is, like I said, that is actually a complete separate product from Microsoft that we can look at if you guys are interested in that. But that will be a completely separate chat demo.
Karen, it's okay. You can definitely watch the replay for the lagging issue.
Okay, so Leandro asked, Gustavo, can documents between OneDrive and Teams sync? Or do you need to export OneDrive? No, so they are automatically synced. So the files that file that I worked on is exactly the same. So I can quickly show you that. Open that one, and then I'm going to go to the Teams one. Open that, open that. I'm just going to put in here Leandra. That one. So now this one I've now edited in Teams, and now I'm opening the one on the computer, and there you see it's actually showing that I'm busy editing my own document. So that's the file that I actually opened up directly from the OneDrive that was synced to the computer.
That's cool.
Okay, Melanie, you're asking if it can link to WhatsApp messages. What exactly are you referring to? Is it the workflow or is it the Teams WhatsApp messages? So if I understand correctly, it would probably be you're asking if you can WhatsApp the messages that comes in. So we'll have to look and see if there's a workflow to integrate those two. Melanie Lucas, how long do recordings get saved and where are they saved? Are you talking about the recording for today or the recording in general for Teams? The Teams recording will be saved as long as you leave it there. So as long as the team is there, or if you until you delete the recording, or otherwise if you set up a specific expiry date or retention period for it, then it can be deleted earlier, but by default that will be there as long as you've got that team and your subscription active. So if you stop paying the license, then that will obviously fall away.
There was another question.
Yeah, Melanie is asking about the client. So they can, so you can, yeah, so that's also, you can actually invite external people, so they don't have to have a Teams license. The Teams license is mostly for yourself if you want to set up a team and manage the system. You can invite external people, then they will get a login that is to your company, and then they, yeah, you can have them link that way. Tanya is asking SharePoint and OneDrive link up. So SharePoint and OneDrive is actually built on SharePoint. So it's actually the same system. It's just different ways of using it. And OneDrive is a more basic version of, or a more basic interface of SharePoint. So the SharePoint options are where we basically set up all the different permissions if there's a folder level permission that needs to be added, or group level access and things like that.
Yeah, I just want to say that my weekly Compassion Biz meetings, a lot of people don't have Microsoft Teams, so I just invite them. And that's why I asked for the email addresses, because if I have your email address, I can invite you to a Teams meeting, even if you don't have Microsoft Office or Teams or anything like that at work. You can just join like you join Zoom.
Anybody else?
Melanie, what do you mean by how does a client subscribe? You have to download the app, I think, to just link. Okay?
No. Really? No, so the subscribe is the license itself. So they don't need to have a license subscribed to be able to join a team or to be able to join a meeting.
Cool. Karen and Louise are talking.
Yep.
Typing.
Just waiting for them.
You can unmute and just
talk as well if you want.
Ask your question if you want, yeah.
Hi, can I go ahead?
Sure.
Hi, Karen, sure.
Hi, okay, so I have a Hotmail login, which sometimes Teams picks up. I have two different business logins that sometimes Teams picks up and sometimes it doesn't, and I never know where it's going in, which one it's going to go into. Is there a way to manage that?
Do you use both of the business ones, or is it mostly just the one that you're using?
So the one that I get all of my Microsoft 365 access on is not the one that I would be wanting to do the Microsoft Teams meetings on. So one is, I'll give you the names. One is Cool AI, and the other one is Service Delivery Partners. And what I would like to do is use the Service Delivery Partners for meetings, but I can never get on there unless I go in through the internet, and I struggle to send meeting invites and that sort of thing. And then when I'm on a meeting, I couldn't record, which was very, very frustrating.
Okay, so we'll just have to have a look for you and see what subscriptions you've got on which email addresses, because the subscription is normally linked to a single domain. So either the Service Delivery Partners or the AI one. So we'll just have to see exactly where your licenses are and which options you've got on both, and then to see what option would be the best for you to use going forward.
Okay, all right. Thanks.
Cool. I'll set up a meeting with you for early next week, then we can have a look at that.
Thanks, Rudy. That would be great.
So there's a few more emails, chats that came in. There's a free app to download for desktop. Would this just be for meetings? Yes. So Tanya, sorry, Leandre, that's correct. So the free app is basically just for your meetings between family members, typically for the free one, and then also just to be able to join meetings. But you can't schedule any meetings specifically. You can do a direct meeting, but not schedule any meetings, if I remember correctly. And then that also doesn't integrate or give any other functionality of the Teams application. Hi, Louis. We're glad that we can get you excited to to use Teams a bit more fully, because like I said, most people just use it for meetings and don't know about any of the other features that it actually allows you to use. And so that's why we've started these sessions.
Rudy?
Yep.
I think you need a Microsoft Home or Microsoft Business license for Teams to be able to schedule meetings and stuff, but also to save the files and the wiki and all of that as well. I don't think it comes with a free one.
No, it definitely doesn't come with the free one. You definitely need a paid license for the OneDrive at least, and then for specifically for Teams as well. So the saving of the files.
The Office 365 family supports Teams as well, correct?
As far as I know, I think it does. I'm not 100% sure what the home version, actually the limitations are on the home version. The one we work with mostly is the business version of Teams. So I'll just have to double check that for you, actually.
Right. Thanks.
Otherwise, if you know, you're welcome to share. So now you're in IT as well.
Yep.
I'm asking you because I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out and let you know.
Yeah, we haven't tried actually on the home license at all for the Teams to see what the functionality is. I know on Windows 11, the Teams that comes installed with is the personal Teams, not the business Teams. You actually have to install the business Teams to get it all the functionality working properly. But so I'm expecting the home license will typically be the same.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks.
But I'll double check that and I'll let you know.
Yeah, Lorraine, we do supply licenses, so you can contact me if you want some licenses.
Yep.
And we can send you a quote on the different options. Rudy, I just want to ask that you touch on the backup option, you know, the free space that comes with the Office.
So
you know
so
what
the
I'm
Microsoft
saying.
Office license, so the OneDrive so they've got 1 terabyte of storage space that you can use. So all the files that you've seen me work on basically is onto that. And then that, like I said, that syncs through to Teams or between Teams and between OneDrive. So you can either just use OneDrive on its own, or you can use the Teams functionality and set up your teams that you can then use in your company for as a shared folder. So I should have probably mentioned that as well. So what we do is, instead of having a server in the office, because we distributed workforce, we've got the shared folders set up as teams, and then from there on we share the files inside the different teams with the different access levels to be able to work on the files either together or when you're away from your computer. What I also should maybe mention as well is all the files that we've worked on today and that you're linking to your OneDrive, you can actually access that directly on your phone or from any other computer. If you've got your login details, you can log onto the internet and then access your files, work on it remotely wherever you are. So that works very, very well. So Lorraine, so if you join a meeting from your phone and you receive a call, you can answer the call. The meeting will be disconnected for yourself for that or for a while you're on the phone, but the meeting itself will go on. Unless you are the organizer, then it will probably still disconnect you, but obviously then everybody will be waiting for you to get back.
I have a question because my computer, we have load shedding now. So my computer was going to go off and I just transferred, and I'm the meeting creator. And I just transferred this meeting to my phone. Was there any hiccup on your side?
No.
Okay, that's fantastic actually. Wow. Quite impressed.
Anybody else? Otherwise, we can wrap it up and give you guys a few minutes back into your day. But you're more than welcome. Yeah, if you think of anything later on, please send it through to myself or Christina. Then we'll definitely see how we can assist you guys.
Lorraine is still asking a question.
Okay, so if you answer the call, no, you don't have to rejoin it again. It should connect automatically, but otherwise, if it does disconnect you, you can just click on the link again and just rejoin again.
We'll have to test that.
Most of the time, it depends on how long the call is. So most of the
Okay,
time,
yeah.
it should connect automatically.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Okay, so training dates. The next training date we're doing is the 5th of May.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 3 hours from 9 to 12. So yeah, you guys are welcome to join us then.
I will send out the invite just after this meeting so that you have the information. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Awesome day. Bye.
Bye.